virtual people. Welcome to episode 42 of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2022. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have three radical guests on the show tonight. First up, longtime friend of the show and host of the soon-to-be-launched Still Fabulous podcast, hunk and hero Bobby Masters on the show.
Bobby!
Hi.
And rounding out this righteous crew, we have a double dose of awesome and the founders of such incredible brands as Taped Off TV and Night Owl Designs, as well as being the founders of the most excellent South Street Art Mart in South Philly, where they have supported dozens of artists and helped bring their incredible work to you. They are heroes, friends, idols, and role models to so many, and they are here on their 12-year anniversary. So send them lots of love and congrats in the live chat. Nicole Wiegand and Nicole Smalls-Krasicki are on the show.
Hey, everybody.
An intro.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think you got the wrong pair of Nicoles. I don't know.
Her Royal Highness. God dang.
Nicole's squared. It does not get any better than that. We are here today to thank Katrina, freshen up our Metallica breath, and make sure the dishes are done. That's right. The time has come for the sweetest sequel never made, Don't Tell Mom 2, Dead Again. But before we can get right on top of that, Rose, we need to talk about how Don't Tell Mom came into our lives.
So much, Chris.
And what we love about it. You need it, Ian. You love it. We'll start with the Nicoles, but that also goes for you guys that watching at home. Hit us up in the live chat with your Don't Tell Mom tales. So, Nicole Squared, how did you guys first discover Don't Tell Mom? We talking VHS, Laserdisc, cable, theaters? What's the story?
Mine was definitely HBO. You know, HBO used to do the like Saturday night premiere, and it was like a big deal.
Yes.
Saturday 8 p.m. Yeah, so I saw it.
That was such a big deal. I think we were talking about that last
Huge
week.
deal. It was a huge deal. And I saw it, and then it was just every time it was on, I would watch it. I taped it off of TV because, you know, it's what you do. And then every time it came on, I'd watch on HBO, but I'd also watch the tape just over and over again.
The original Netflix right there.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, the original Netflix and chill. It was like HBO and I don't know what, something, but
Same with me. I saw it not on the premiere night. I mean, that's pretty awesome. But I saw it on HBO, but only like the last half. And then I must have caught it at the tail end of like them showing it often or something, because I didn't know the name of it and I kept trying to figure out what it was. It like stuck with me, you know what I mean? So like, I gotta find this. Cool. Yeah, I gotta find this movie, and then it came like I saw like a commercial for it or something again. So I taped it off of TV, and I still have my tape that I watched over and over and over again.
The glory of taping things off television. Like, I never taped music off the radio. I always thought that was like a myth. I was like, I don't know if people really do that, but from what I can hear, apparently lots of people really did that. I never did that, but
I got you one better. I did the radio, but I also taped Zack Attack, their songs, you know, when they performed on Saved by the Bell. Yeah. I taped their song from the TV on like an audio cassette, and I wish I still had it. We were just talking about this the other day.
So I love this, and I'm going to derail everything and go way too many levels down a rabbit hole real quick. We're doing a Nerds episode coming up, and Lamar actually said he wanted to be on it. Our buddy Lamar the Clean. But I actually taped the songs of the Revenge of the Nerds 1 and 2, like their rap songs. Onto mini disc of all things, and like I used to like skateboard around with that in my mini disc player. Listen to Lamar be like, clap your hands, everybody.
Everybody, clap your hands.
Oh my God, just incredible. Bobby, do you remember the first time? Yes, Booger Presley.
Guitar.
Bobby, do you remember the first time you watched Don't Tell Mom?
I have a distinct memory of seeing the VHS tape box at a Blockbuster, and I didn't get it, but I just remember like being intrigued by the cover art and the title. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily remember the first time I saw it. I remember seeking it out during the early stages of my Christina Applegate obsession.
So tell us a little bit more about this Christina Applegate obsession. Did this start from Married with Children?
Yeah, like early 2000s, I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
Married with Children, that's when, like, I've mentioned this before. You see people, you see what else they did, you branch off, and you find a whole bunch of other things they're capable of doing. And this is how I discovered this movie. It's because it was like Christina Applegate's like first like big like movie that she did.
I could definitely dig that. Ian knows, and he's tired of hearing about my Patrick Dempsey obsession. Pretty much like as soon as I saw Can't Buy Me Love,
never get tired of it, sir.
Within like weeks, I had to see Loverboy and what's the one with Kelly Preston, On the Run or something like that, or
no, just Run.
Run. Thank you.
Yeah,
Run, and Run. You know, all those movies in the late '80s, early '90s, with honors. Again, it's now the Patrick Dempsey episode.
With honors, you know.
I was around like 12 years old when this happened, and then
I'm in college now.
And
say that again. I'm sorry.
I said I was like 12 years old during like the beginning stages of the Christina Applegate thing, and that led me to watch like The Sweetest Thing in like 6th grade.
Round of applause for The Sweetest Thing. Round of applause.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
It's
Sweetest Thing.
Best. Don't tell Mom's good. This thing is so good. She hates it. I love it.
On paper,
how do you hate it?
On paper, I should love it. It has everything I love. It has like Christina Applegate and Selma Blair and Cameron Diaz. It has a movie montage. On paper, I should love this movie. I super don't.
Oh, Parker Posey, I love it. There's no way she could be in something and I wouldn't love it.
It's weird. I know. I should like it. I don't know why. I tried. I don't like it.
The sweetest thing was that movie that your friends brought to the party that everybody hung out with on a Friday night, and it just played in the background while everybody else was talking. That's what I remember most.
Or you just
See, no matter who was at the party, I was always the one kid sitting Indian style on the floor, like right in front of the TV, so I could hear it. That was like my social net. I was like, well, if I just don't look interested in the party, then I won't be a loser. Like, I'll just crank up this Julia Roberts movie again, or whoever, you know.
Chris, you're equivalent to the guy in the corner playing the guitar for the two girls who really can't play. He's just stringing the guitar the entire time.
Just trying to get the opening chord to Kumbaya. Wait, no, I get it. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, no.
No, you're the guy playing Deep Purple. Dun, 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 dun. But you always get that one note wrong. So it's dun, 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 dun.
Somehow,
it's C flat. Damn it.
Somehow I make the guitar's voice crack. So in the spirit of getting back on track, do you remember the first time you saw Don't Tell Mommy In?
Me? Oh, it was same thing. HBO. I don't know if I saw it opening, but I do remember watching it. And of course, the two things that I know. One is it's like, oh, that's the Married with Children. You know, that's how I know that, you know, Christina Applegate. And so there's that. But also Danielle Harris is in. And if any of you are Halloween fans, it's like, oh, that's Jamie's daughter. You know, that's her. You know, that, you know, from Halloween 5. That's the girl on the VHS box with the knife. You know,
or if you're fans of Wish Upon a Star, then you would be like, oh my God, it's Alexia Wheaton.
But that was years after Wish Upon a Star was like late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Mid.
See, I you know, I'll get into my story in a second, but I feel my story ages me already. But before I get into my first
shirt ages you.
You love the Hawaiian shirts and you need them. I wanted to go with something real subtle today. So I see some people in the chat. Angie Saunders, Mike Saunders. Angie says Keith Coogan was supposed to play a 15-year-old. He was 22. Watch it on VHS. Mike Saunders, VHS for me as well. Again, Angie and Mike are a couple of mashup making geniuses. Gold's Code. Sorry, I'm late. Sue Ellen took the last of the petty cash, and I had to get chili for dinner. I think he means chili dogs. But nice clown dog reference by our buddy Sean Gold. Thanks for tuning in as well.
Yeah.
He also says you skateboarded to putting one step in front of the other, and then you go down, nerd. That's a good crossover there. Devin Zane with the hello guys, glad to be here. Thank you for tuning in, Devin. And our buddy Dustin Nino from Retro Fiend Radio, again, makers of the best canon and martial arts documentaries on the internet. Rented this and watched it on HBO a million times. This is how I learned to do the dishes. Amazing. You're way cooler than me. So now to the aging myself part. So I saw this movie in theaters, and I remember very specifically it being the first movie that I saw in theaters twice. Where I was like, I need to go see this one again. It was like the summer of, I think it was the summer of '91. And one of the times my parents would take us up to like the North Woods of Wisconsin, and like I was, not into like snowmobiling and fishing and all this stuff that they would do. So the only thing that would be a relief for me would be going to the movies maybe at night. And so I used to kind of like, that all right, everyone, we snowmobile all day, we go to the movies at night so Chris doesn't kill himself. So one of them, I got like an extra don't tell mom out of like some weekend to Wisconsin, and it was probably worth the suffering to see it on the big, because I'd kill to see it on the big screen now. But then it was a VHS movie that was like just a staple. I don't remember ever having to rent it because I feel like we always owned it. Which again, I was lucky my dad was like a VHS junkie like I was. But I do you guys remember them selling you swag at the beginning of the VHS? Oh, of course, you guys all taped your copies off TV. So no one here, I mean, shout out if someone in the chat remembers this, please type it in. But there was a series of movies that would like sell you swag if you bought like the official VHS release. Like there was like a Bill and Ted one, there was Look Who's Talking merch. And sometimes they would do it after the movie, and a lot of times they would do it before the movie at the beginning of the tape.
I remember the one
Batman '89 had stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember on Gremlins, you could on Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2, yeah.
You could get it was Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. I know were at the beginning, but they also did a thing at the beginning of buying merch. Get your official Warner Brothers T-shirt. Get your official Warner. I think they had that on the Batman one too.
In Last Crusade, I think also.
Last Crusade. Movies. Yeah, Crusade had the Diet Coke commercial. That's what I remember.
Is that what it was? Okay.
But they had merch thing too. Yeah.
So I just remember thinking like through like the narrow eyes of like a 7-year-old, whatever I was at the time, maybe 8 when it came out on VHS, that like, oh, this must have been like the biggest movie ever in the world. Like I didn't even think Star Wars or something I was aware of at that point in time. I was like, well, they're selling you shit. Like, Look Who's Talking, they sold you this way, So that was like the only thing I had to judge a movie on. So by that, idea, the movie has been like this larger than life mythic, comedy, great, like touchstone my whole life. And that's never like dulled for me. That's never like, yeah, well, I could see the strings now. No, it's like it ages like wine. Like I think it's better now than I did when I was 7 years old.
Great. Chris, I can't tell you how many times I and collectively we have watched it. Like I quite literally couldn't count it. And I'm always interested. It's like I want to see what's going on in the background. I want to catch. I'm a bit upset. I have a tattoo. Like I'm a bit obsessed.
Wait a minute, you have a
whoa. Let's go back.
You don't know this, Chris?
How do I not know you have a don't tell mom tattoo?
We gotta go back in the time machine.
The whole thing's a half sleeve? What the hell?
Let's see this.
I don't know how you didn't know that. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it.
I think maybe I've always seen you in cold weather.
Maybe. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a Petty Cash, Clown Dog Truck, Diamond Ring for Cynthia.
What?
Aardvark, roses, obviously.
It's so
my god. And speaking of coolest movie tattoos ever, Nicole, don't you have the female gremlin as a pinup, right?
Greta.
Greta. Oh
yes!
My god. Yeah. See, incredible. I'm always trying to think of like movie tattoo ideas, and
I just got mom. Not cool.
Hey, you just add a little "don't tell" at the top of it.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, that's genius.
There you go.
I had an idea for it's a tramp stamp. I don't know what else to call it. I was trying to be politically, but
I've been urging this for years.
A lower back tattoo that's just like the cover. It's got like the kids and then Strax's feet are coming out of my.
Oh wow, that would be incredible.
If anyone out there wants to pay for that,
I've been urging it for years. I'm like, you got to do it. Like, you got to do it.
Shout out. I just want to say I have a lot of friends at Heirloom Tattoo and #Immortal Ink as well. Great artists. If you guys are passionate about this film and want to support some other great artists, please add us on Insta or Facebook or something.
How cool! I hope the director is watching this. And how cool is that? That they're like, somebody has a tattoo of "Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead" in this world right now. That is awesome.
Well, perfect time to talk about the director.
Amazing.
Actually, one of my favorites, Stephen Herrick, who directed "Don't Tell Mom," was fresh off of Bill and Ted, which had interestingly sat in the can for 2 years before it was released. Like Bill and Ted was shot in '87 and like finished in '87, didn't come out till '89, like summer of '89. So this was like, the first. This is the next movie he did, and I think he would later go on to do like Mr. Holland's Opus and I think the first Mighty Ducks film as well. I could be wrong about this, but there's so many things about this movie. Like, I always say great directing is great casting, and this movie is sneakily maybe the best cast ever of all time, and I don't hesitate to say that.
100%.
There's not one role that isn't perfect. Like you go down the line. First of all, they nail all the kids perfection, right? Every single one. Chris Pratt, Danielle Harris, Keith Coogan, Christina Applegate. I forget the younger son's name, but perfection. Mrs. Sturrock, perfection. Metallica Breath, David Duchovny, perfection. Caroline, perfection. I would watch that's the Caroline in the city I want to see.
Nicole and I say all the time to each other, "What is it, Carolyn?" Something. Like every time there's a pain in the ass in the store, we say it to each other over and over again.
The way Joanna Cassidy delivers that line is just absolutely genius because it's so resigned.
Yeah.
She's just so over her shit.
And like seriously, Joanna Cassidy, perfection as Rose. That is a really hard role. If you like read that script, it's like, I don't know, what do they want me to do? Maybe motherly, or do they want me to be,
is she likable?
Yeah, is she likable? Is she a villain? Is this working girl? What is this? Like,
she's a likable boss bitch. She is what I aspire to be in life. Sue Ellen,
right?
Like,
seriously, she's got like a Mr. Miyagi quality in that way, that like she's seen some shit and she knows what's up and she's got her own way, and you're lucky to pick up any wax on, wax off that you can pick up, I
aspire to be Walter, but that's just
Walter. That's an interesting thing too, is like, which character in this movie do you like is your favorite, or like do you relate to the most, or there's so many like weird aspects of this, like added bonus levels of this movie. As a kid I was 100% Walter, and I have like, my fear is that I'll never not be Walter. I'll never have my like Kenny moment where he he learns, okay, I can cook and I should get motivated and blah 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 blah. Like, my fear is that I'm permanently going to be 7-year-old Walter who's going to like fall off the roof fixing the TV in a snowstorm.
Walter wears pajamas all the time, very comfortable, watches TV. It's a sweet entertainment center, likes game shows, loves his dog. Like, what is what's the problem?
So many redeeming qualities.
That is Chris.
I'm Walter. I don't have insurance either.
Neither, man.
Yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield. If you're watching, get at us on Insta or Facebook. Sponsor the show. Lots of people need health, I guess. I don't know.
I just want to be the babysitter.
Well, you want to be Mrs. Sturrock?
The dead part, right. The alive.
Look, I'm a teacher, right? Sometimes kids are just, they need to be yelled at. So like, I get it.
I agree 100%.
You know what I do love about Mrs. Sturrock is she really embodies the skate or die attitude. She goes out on a skateboard. That's amazing. Skate or Die was like my favorite NES game. So
I would like to just be the Gravediggers. Like, I'm just doing my job, and then a bunch of money falls in my lap, and I can live happily ever after.
That's a good point.
That is like one of my favorite sitcom tropes. They've done it on like a bunch of shows now. Not even on dramas too. But like, someone just finds money somehow. They do it, I guess, on sitcoms too. And they have to like wait it out. They report it to the police and they hold it for like 2 weeks or whatever. They publish it, paper. You know, it's one of those bullshit things that you expect is going to happen later in life, and of course, never does.
Found $1 at work the other day. It was like a real big score.
Right? Isn't that the best?
I was like, shit, there's $1 on the floor. Hope nobody sees it before I do.
I might not be on the list, but I believe you know my friend George Washington.
You reach in your pocket, there's $5. It's like,
yup. We're all doing great.
I'm going to Taco Bell.
So another aspect of the movie that I love is there's a million classic lines. What would you say is the most quotable line? I mean, you guys already said like, "What's wrong, Carolyn?" Something, which is great. Did you guys have a favorite line? Dishes are done, or I'm right on top.
The
of
one
that
you say
Rose,
all the time.
Which one do I say all the time?
She always says, "Talks like she's chewing her face."
Oh, nice brown hair. Talks like she's chewing her face.
That one.
Yeah. I also do.
Gets stuck in my head. I will just think of it out of context. Talks like she's chewing her face, like out of nowhere. But that's the one that always just comes to mind. I'm 100%.
Every time I see, sorry. Every time I see Daphne, I just say, "Who happened to the other broad? Mona." There's so many. Obviously, dishes are done, but like, there's just so many good lines. Like the dialogue between the kids when the kids are all together is just like stellar. The back and forth.
Go back and get it from the old hag is is my favorite.
I say that a lot too.
I do say that a lot.
Yeah. We also say to each other, "I appreciate you," and then the other one says, "Eat shit,"
all the time.
That's so good. Yeah, I mean, you're right though. It is like every scene has at least 3 of those great quotable. Like you didn't have to whisk the couch. Like, well, you needed it.
You needed it.
And every, I feel like I could recite.
The way Keith Coogan says, "Doing your party shit," like that.
Being a role model for Zach. Helping Melissa with a fastball. Doing your party shit. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Oh God, it's so good.
Is that why he's like freaking out on Christina Applegate? He's acting all adult and everything.
Came home late. Yeah.
That was always my favorite part. He is just like ripping into her. You know, did you know he lost a tooth? You don't care. You know, he's just so getting into like dad mode. But he has that
worked all day on that casserole.
Yeah, he looks like he has that great stoner voice the whole time while he's doing it, but it's so adult.
I will say I could probably. Oh, sorry.
No, I just think he's so good. He's like so good.
Oh my God, amazing. I love his. I've done a couple Q&A panels with him. I know you guys again know Keith very, very well. He has such great stories. I guess we can get into some trivia stuff here. But the movie was originally supposed to be called The Real World, and it, I guess some MTV executive came to set one day, and I guess they probably already had the same parent company at that point in time. Was like, yeah, you're not going to call this movie The Real World because we're doing a show called that, and we have a lot behind it. So we've come up with a title for you. How about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead? And it probably just sounded horrible to everyone when they first heard it, but it is a perfect title.
Is it though? Because I
think it's great.
For years. I think that is. It's a terrible title, but it's so terrible that it works for the movie.
I guess so.
Hot Tub Time Machine. Worst title ever.
Here's the thing, right?
Perfect. It's perfect. Or Snakes on a Plane.
Put it on the side of your VCR tape when you label it.
You know what? Just like New Jack Swing Beats and Cavaricci Pants, there was something going on in the early 90s where if you could reference like B movies from the 50s, it was really cool. And the proof is in every single Ninja Turtles episode title. It's all about like Attack of the 50-Foot Brain Man or like So I think that was maybe something they were going for with this, sort of capturing like the flavor of the day, which I do think again was a very important ingredient in this movie. It's a perfect time capsule for 1991. You look at the movie and it's, oh my God, it's just before grunge came in and everything got like a little bit more depressing and things were still like hair rock and like his room, that was my older brother's room. you know, like the
Mine
Megadeth
too.
post, you know,
Mine too.
to a T. And like I always just think like, yeah, this room would kill Mrs. Sturak. I love it. It's so cool. Like I need more Megadeth posters in my room. But you know, this again, I'm almost kind of tripping over my words, you know, because I just love this movie so much. But
I'm
like
trying not to like interrupt you every 2 minutes because I'm like, oh, and this one, I'm still like lines with this one and this one and this one.
I'm just going aimlessly. So they changed the name, you know, again, they changed the name of the title. Other trivia, I know it was supposed to be Jennifer Love Hewitt was originally cast as Melissa at one point, and it was because of, I think, Kids Incorporated that she was not able. And while I was doing the panels, when I learned that you were a fan of Kids Incorporated, I think.
Got a Kids Incorporated tattoo as well.
Get that shit. Damn it, you guys are just so much friggin' cooler than me.
There's nothing cool about any of this.
Dude,
like this.
Oh, there's 100%. Yes, it is.
That is like as gangster as it gets. That's a lot cooler than my VHS tattoo, believe me.
Oh, what? No.
It's one of the only cool nerddoms I got. I got one Goonies piece, one Bill and Ted piece, and a VHS piece.
You want to get matching Don't Tell Mom lower back tattoos?
Yeah.
You know, I've been thinking of
Say
something.
the word.
I've been thinking of something for that space. And it would go so good underneath my Miyagi-Do gi logo that I want on my back as well.
I'll get that too. Let's go, Chris.
Yes. Yes, we're ready to compete in the All Valley.
Oh, man.
But before we get into the sequel stuff, Bobby, I believe you have a little bit of trivia on this movie as well, right?
Oh yeah, it was also with the casting thing. Apparently, this movie was written with Winona Ryder in mind for Sue Ellen.
I could fucking see that.
A different movie.
But she was filming Edward Scissorhands and Mermaids. Love Mermaids. We just need to
Mermaids.
So
Mermaids. Oh yeah.
I did a share mashup today.
And then
I shared that on my page.
Oh, good. Oh,
wait. Oh yeah, you did do a mashup. You did do a mashup of that.
Yeah, Share Bears. It's cheesy.
So she couldn't do it, and then Justine Bateman was offered the role, but she didn't take it. And
Is that she was only offered? I thought she was attached at one point.
Listen.
Oh no, yeah,
she should have done it. Listen, Justine Bateman got a rap in this world. It's not fair.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yo, there is a Justine Bateman renaissance going on right now, and I am like 1000% for it. No, it's awesome, and it's like
any of you read her book?
No,
I want to.
I really want to.
I do want to.
I mean, like flew through it.
Not the new one that came out. We have
the one
Fame
called Fame.
Oh,
I do want to read about that.
Yeah, you have to.
Her and Jason Bateman in the 80s are like one of the most fascinating things that's ever happened to me. Like way more. I know Lamar's all about scoring like the celebrity families thing. But to me, I give the Batemans edge over the Lawrences, even though there's a lot more Lawrences out there. Lawrences. But yeah, I don't know. Is there, before we get into the sequel stuff, is there anything trivia wise that we're leaving out in this movie?
Trivia, but you should tell me.
Wait, one thing, I got it. Okay, so apparently I just read this. There was a contest where like you could like answer trivia questions about the movie when it came out, and the winners
that must be the thing on the VHS.
The car. They got to keep the car.
That's right. That's what it was.
I remember that. I remember seeing. I had to have seen the VHS. Oh my god! Yes.
The question is, who won?
I remember that now.
Who won the car? Who won the car?
Hey, Bobby, I know.
What?
Ew.
Liza?
Oh,
no?
I should have known that was coming. I was gonna say it would have like how cool would it be if you won that car and Liza like drove it to like your your house.
God.
Just like shows up, like gets out of the car and like leans against it, looking like hard as hell. That would be so awesome. So
I have two pieces of not trivia. They're kind of. One is that he told us that he has somewhere in storage a stack of Clown Dog cups. Rat party.
Oh.
I just want to have one so badly. That's
is cool.
as an aside.
An interesting, random aside as well. I do know that he auditioned originally for the role of Brian.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were considering him for Keith or for Kenny, and he was like, "Look, let me come back and try for this other role for Kenny." And he like put it on a wig and like did this whole stoner thing, and I mean it was perfection. And like that moment where he's trying to get up the stairs and he has to stop for a second because he's out of breath. Like that, it was so my older brother coming up,
it's funny
and all.
They tell you not, if you're going to audition in Hollywood, they tell you never to dress up, never to put on a wig, never to do any of this stuff. Every role that anybody's ever landed, sans, Sean Young dressed up like Batwoman, they've landed the role. Like, so just dress up. Like, just go all out. Like, who gives a shit? Like you'll land the role.
So the wig, I don't know. Well, no, it wasn't the wig that he auditioned in. The wig that he ends up wearing for the movie. It was the same wig. What are they called? Wig masters? Like, I guess the person.
Oh yeah, like Ziggy, right? His grandfather's.
Yeah, it was the same guy's grandfather's wigs. His grandfather was Jackie Coogan, who played Uncle Fester.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
There is an amazing clip. I almost feel like maybe it's one of you guys that posted it, and this is how I saw it, or maybe it was Keith that posted it. But it was like young stars at the Oscars of like 1989, and it's like Keith Coogan and like
it's so good.
I think Brian Austin Green and like Patrick Dempsey, or like all the I can't remember exactly who is or wasn't there, but it was such a mind-blowing.
Well, hopefully not Rob Lowe and Snow White.
Oh right, yeah, like the worst. Yeah, that's right. I've still never seen that, but Rob Lowe wrote about that in his book. So I do want to touch on the chat before we switch over to sequel pitching mode. Again, Angie Saunders in the chat. I still have a Patrick obsession. I mean, Mike Saunders obsession, playfully teasing her husband there. I see Barbara Krasicki in the chat. Hi. Thank you very much for tuning in. I imagine that's
Hi,
Mom. Aw, we're so honored to have you. Thank you so much.
Moms love this show.
I'm a big fan. That's
Moms
right.
love this show.
Is big on it.
My mom, yeah.
I don't think my mom knows how to watch the show, but she'll figure it out one of these days. Also, Sean Gold in the chat. Chris, TV rots your brain. I want to report on the aardvark due tomorrow, which again is another great Mrs. Sturak line. Devin Zane, Babysitter was a creepy old lady. She would do great in a horror film. I feel like she was in something else, and I'm forgetting what it is.
We caught her in the background of a Fresh Prince episode once.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Oh man, I could totally see that. Yeah, I think that's probably what was on my mind somehow, or at least something else like that 90s sitcom related.
We're all gonna fall down a Mrs. Sturrock Wikipedia rabbit hole later and be like, "Oh, she was in this in 1949." What?
Mm-hmm.
Again, some love in the chat for I'm right on top of that, Rose. Some quotes, some talk about the VHS swag like on Batman and Alfred and all that stuff. Some love for those tattoos from our buddy Dustin Nino from Retro Fiend Radio, so you guys can feel pretty good about that. So it is that time of the show, second half hour. I've thought about this one for a long time. I was almost hesitant to have Don't Tell Mom be an episode on the show because it's one of those movies like Empire Records that's like perfection, and you don't want to. You're like, oh, just leave it. It's perfect. Don't
get off the couch, Joe. My foot's on the couch, Joe. I'm taking the pillow, Joe.
Not the whole couch.
Not the whole couch.
So it's tough, right? Because like the first thing I do is like, well, obviously we have to make the movie a way too late sequel because you're not going to digitally de-age people or do anything like that, or just go with a brand new cast and make it take place in 1992. So you have to like play the lives of these principal characters forward 30 years. One of those child actors is no longer with us, which is very sad and it has to be dealt with. I don't think it would be tasteful to recast that role. So there's like a lot of obstacles in like building a modern day sequel for Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, right? Because if you think about it, okay, Sue Ellen obviously is going to go on to be a great success in life. She conquered the business world when she was 17.
Just shut up.
Nova's here.
Oh, we getting a cat cameo? Is this Nova? Yes. Oh,
Hey.
Nova rules. If you don't know, you better ask somebody because that is the coolest cat ever. Now I totally lost my train of thought 'cause I'm in Catland. So like, right. And then Kenny as well would probably be a great culinary success. He seemed very motivated and I think he's even younger, right? 16, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe the same age, whatever. 17. He's clearly had his like St. Elmo's Fire aha moment.
You're hitting all my favorites tonight, Chris.
Right. So, and then like played out for the rest of them. Melissa, she seems like a very strong and confident girl. I don't think she would have, it's like 30 years later, I can't see any of these people being like losers. They're all going to be very like together with their lives, right? So one idea that I had, unless someone else has an idea and they want to go first, which please do, because mine, I usually say the dumbest thing out of everyone. But one thing I was thinking is that, okay, how do you get all these people together again? And how do you put them into a situation where you can have these types of hijinks happen again? And also it has to be relevant to today, the way the original was relevant to 1991. It's all very tough stuff. So I thought like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Say that again?
You can't like replicate it in the same way because there's too much tech now. There's like, security cameras and the internet could search Sue Ellen to see that she's not,
Right. Yeah.
Like there's you have to like readjust to make it
this story would have gotten in today's world. Babysitter found in a box.
Yeah.
Oh God, this would have been. I mean,
viral story. Yeah. Oh my God, we would be watching the trials on TV right now.
Well, I mean, and the mom that left all of her kids alone with a stranger to go Australia with some dude, like that would be what was uncovered,
Right? Yes. Worst mom ever. And I was thinking that was almost what I was thinking, a way to start the movie. I was like, all right, the movie should start with the mom actually dying. She's a grandma.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't tell mom the grandma's dead. Is that don't tell grandma the babysitter's dead?
Or don't tell the kids grandma's dead or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Some kind
of
that's a dark title right there.
I don't know.
Grandma got run over by a clown dog truck.
Ooh, I like that. I like that twist of fate.
That's what you want to pay a ticket for on a Saturday night.
or like a billboard falls, like, and it's like a travel to Australia billboard. So there's something poetic about that. But like she's just trash. She's a horrible mom. She leaves like a 6-year-old alone for the summer with the meanest old lady ever. Springs it on her kids at the last second. She's trash.
No.
She's a terrible mom.
No, listen.
Sue Ellen's a better mom.
Your kids are fine. You've got to do you. All right. I will defend. All right. I will defend.
You're crazy.
No,
I'm just saying. Not fine.
Kids were not and she was like, screw your baseball, Melissa.
She knew before she left that she had a stoner.
Hold on. She had a list. She gave the babysitter all that needed to happen. That is a confident mother who wanted to get her thing on.
She didn't even buy groceries before she left. She's like, the babysitter will do it.
And she knew she had a stoner. She had a stoner, a thief, and like a lazy kid for sons, right? And she had a daughter, Melissa, who needed, some work on her fastball and was insecure about her. Yeah, who's burning fucking ants in the yard with a magnifying glass. Yeah. Like, shit is not right at home. That's not that's not the home you take off from and go party in Australia.
Those parents did their best.
Honestly, they did better without her. They really did.
They really did.
That house was like a dust bowl.
They
did thrive. They did.
Without her.
The hidden message.
They cleaned. They had careers.
The hidden message in this movie all these years, folks, is that your kids were better than you. That's what this movie was about.
So how do we make, and again, this is like a difficult thing. How do you make like the death of a family member funny, even though she was trash? Like you have.
You make the death of the babysitter funny. You shove her in a California raisin sheet, and you're done with it. You move on with your life.
God, I love the California raisins so much. Yeah, down a skateboard. I love it. Be careful. What? No, my skateboard. Yeah, it is really tough. So there's like the first thing I think is, okay, maybe the grandma dies and the kids are over at her house, and it's like, Keith's kids and Christina Applegate's kids and sort of like the next generation of kids are all spending the summer at grandma's, and grandma dies and they don't want to tell their parents because they don't want to ruin their like great summer or whatever.
Right. That's good.
That is fun.
That's good.
And you have some like Weekend at Bernie's kind of fun there. They don't take their dead grandma about, but like they have to.
But they could.
Maybe they could. I don't know.
So we just Weekend at Bernie's too, and there's a voodoo curse and music and.
Oh my God!
So does that mean we get our Ghostbusters Afterlife? Like we don't get to see Ricci and Harris and Coogan until like the last 10 minutes of the movie?
No, I think the way to do it is like I always believe the 50-50 approach. It's got to be half about new people, but just as much about the old people, as you got to satisfy everybody. So they all have to be on some adventure without their kids. They're in Australia or they're somewhere doing something, and you cut back to that and like. That has to be completely fresh and new. All right. Obviously.
All right. So if we go with this, the mom gets married to this Australian guy, which is understandable. Again, mom, get your thing on. And she married for money, and now she's a millionaire, right? And you could pull the Weekend at Bernie's, but somehow they have to keep this going. This. Wherever they meet up, they have to keep it going. Maybe that is a little too weekend.
So the kid, when I say the kids, I mean like Kenny and Sue Ellen, and right. They go on a siblings vacation to Australia, right? So all the siblings are in Australia. Their kids are with grandma. Grandma bites the.
What if? So what if we combine those two? What if?
Yeah.
I'm married Australia guy, moved to Australia. That dude's long dead. We don't even need to see him. Mom and the grandkids go to Australia to visit grandma, and then grandma dies. So the kids are in Australia. Kenny and Sue Ellen are in the United States, and they don't want to leave Australia early.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh my God! Poor Zach.
Yeah, poor Zach.
I know, right? That's like the toughest thing.
Perfect.
I was even thinking,
was he the quiet brother? Right.
Yeah, like the romantic brother.
Cynthia, my moon goddess. Yeah, diamonds are forever.
Yes. Again, one who got the diamond ring for Cynthia.
And he passed away. That actor.
Yeah, early 2000s.
He did. Okay.
His final role was in that show, MTV's Undressed.
I loved that show. I talk about this constantly about how I'm desperate for them to release it like in its entirety. So
there's so many things that I'm just dying for on DVD from that late 90s, early 2000s era. Like everything from the Two Coreys show to the Anna Nicole show to every True Hollywood story behind the music.
All of the True Hollywood stories and behind the music. Yeah.
Yeah, A&E biographies too, like the one where they talk about Van Damme being all coked out and shit. Like I need that.
He's got it.
Yes.
Bubba's got it.
That is why I love you.
Look at his face. He's so pissed at you, Chris. I love it. Look at that.
He's not pissed. He's proud, as he should be. He's like, yeah, flexed.
I did not know this was available for purchase. It's like $3 on Amazon for y'all watching. Call in.
$3 on Amazon. What the fuck? How? I never get anything that cheap on Amazon. But that's another story for another day.
Well, you got that shirt cheap on Amazon.
Well, that's true. I can't counter to that at all. I can't afford the real stuff. I have to get the knockoff stuff. But hey, if you're watching King Kameha brand, we love the quality for the respectable price, and get at me on Instagram or something.
It's a great quality shirt.
It's amazing what you get for your money's worth. And I love the
I get lots of great things for $2.25. Yes.
Yes. You have no sense of history. He wears a brown tie.
I had an idea.
Oh yeah.
So we have the Don't Tell Mom movie poster, right?
Right.
And so we've gotten it signed by a bunch of people in the cast. Joanna Cassidy and Kimmy Robertson and Daniel Harris and Keith, obviously.
And Duchovny.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Nicole surprised me with a meet and greet with Duchovny a couple years ago at Philly Comic-Con. And so it was just like, I mean, it's fucking David Duchovny, right? So it's a sea of X-Files fans. And I was in the line, right? A sea. And then there's just my dumbass with a fucking full-size Don't Tell Mom poster that already has all the other signatures on it, right? So like I go up to him and he, like, the look that he gives me, like, he was really cool about it, but he was stunned, you know? And so he signs it and then he looks at me and he's like, in case you can't read that, because it was like, you know, it was kind of, he said, it says, I believe I'm signing this, David Duchovny. It's like,
wow.
So here's my thing, right? Maybe since Duchovny's like a huge star now, maybe we can work in Bruce where like,
oh, you have to.
Bruce is like the head of one of the places that, like, I don't know, that one of the kids works at, you know?
Well, if you look
he's
at,
the
like,
boss now.
right?
Get him
Seriously,
to be the boss.
no, like Bruce and Gus are the type of pieces of shit that just slide right up the corporate ladder, especially in like Gus, you know what I mean? So I feel like you'd be doing the world a distruth by not having them essentially be your arch villains now, right?
True.
Yep.
And like,
oh my God, Caroline can just be.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, that's the three of them, the trinity of villains. Now they're together.
No. If Caroline manages a clown dog, like she owns a clown dog, because like everybody was done with her shit, you know, in the fashion industry. They're like, this front desk is as far as you go. So now she like owns a clown dog, or Brian owns a clown dog and she has to work there.
She's the driver. She's the delivery driver.
She's the delivery driver.
And she's like, but she's like Large Marge, like she's crazy and she's got stories from the road, you know, like she's got a lifetime. She's got like she saw a lifetime of shit driving for Clown Dog. Like she saw people get killed.
The
like,
pandemic
was go down.
The pandemic was rough. She had to go work. You know, she had to go be an Uber for Clown Dog.
She literally watched a city change, like a world change. You know, those have been hard years on Caroline in the city. I love that. And this is a dangerous thing too, where it's like, how do you do this and have it not be what, you know, essentially, I guess people didn't like about Coming to America, where it's like, oh, they just brought everyone back for fan service. It's like, well,
I love that stuff though
too.
You can't not do that at the same time. Like you have to bring these people back. Like, you know, if you did a fucking you know, Coming to America and you didn't have like the barbershop guys, or you didn't have Mr. McDowell, or you didn't have you know...
But the problem with that movie, with Coming to America, was I felt like Coming to America was a script written by a robot that was designed to write a script for a sequel to Coming to America. So it was like it was like everything you expected, yet nothing less than what it should have been. You know, like they gave you nothing extra, and I think this movie, if you're writing it, it does have to be different. You can't just remake, you know, Don't Tell Mom to Be, you know, and there's a part of me that wanted to be like, can I pull a Christmas Vacation 2? You know, with like, can Daniel Harris be like the star of this one? And it's like Christina Ricci like makes an appearance, and I don't think that would be as good.
Christina Applegate,
you know? Or Christina Applegate, sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, who did I say?
Ricci.
Christina Ricci.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Well, at least I didn't say Christina Aguilera.
It's okay. We were talking about mermaids.
Yeah.
That's a bird. That's what. Yeah, that's what. You know.
You know. Yeah, I thought about that a little bit too. Like, could you take?
There we go.
Could you have taken one of these people and, you know, one of these kids and made them kind of like a struggling, whatever, like maybe Walter, you know, but even Walter was pretty savvy at embezzling by the time he was 7 years old. So I mean, that kid's probably gonna do fine too. You know,
I think Walter is running like for the media equivalent stock market is, you know.
Oh, Walter made a fortune in Bitcoin, right? And like NFT or NFTs or like whatever like that shit is that I don't understand.
Walter invented though, so it's not going to him right now, but it was really good for like a year.
All right, I want to go really meta on this one. All right, hear me out.
Okay.
It's okay, what if Lifetime actually did this? And it's the like the Saved by the Bell movie, you know, the movie of the making of the Saved by the Bell TV show. What if it's they're making a real life story of the true story, and they all have to get together to make the movie?
Oh, you want like the BH 90210 thing?
Yeah, like literally they're making a movie of, this story finally got out. It's all these years later, and it's, how somebody did a TED talk or something who discovered this story, or
do you want the super don't tell mom we're meta in the universe or whatever?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like they're getting, the story gets leaked, right? It's somebody writes it on the internet, and
what's the story? Is there some juice? Like, is there enough juice to make a behind the scenes?
Yeah, this babysitter died, and these kids had to raise themselves, and now they're making a movie about this event.
Okay. So I get it now.
I see.
Yeah. So like in that fictional world, like maybe Walter became an author and told that story.
And he wrote the book, and now they're making a movie about it. So everybody has to get together.
Okay.
Well, if anyone, we should probably give that to Zach, and then have him, be unseen. But obviously you have to reference where Zach is. But like, I thought one of the most tasteful ones I'd seen of that was Stallone after his son had died. In the next film, and they asked, like, where's your son? He's like, oh, he's in Canada. He's really happy up there. He likes it, whatever. Where it's like, okay, you give them some tribute without like, we're going to like take advantage of their death and make it a story point, and like, or any of that kind of shit. And, I just don't like that kind of like, we're going to like force in tears here on this. And, like it's, they're real enough for enough people anyway. So, but I think that, you have to do something like that in terms of Zach, just reference that like, oh yeah, he did great. He's very happy, but whatever. So that could maybe make that version work, Ian. That like they're making a movie about
his moon goddess.
His moon goddess. And that could be where the kids are. Ironically.
Yeah, they're off doing the movie, and so the kids have to go to grandma's house in Australia,
which is another interesting challenge, because as you always say, Ian, movies about making movies have never worked for whatever reason. They
because nobody cares. Bob in Ohio doesn't care how a movie gets made, right? Like he just doesn't care, and it's like, and I'll tell you honestly, I really do believe this. Everybody looks at people in Hollywood as like, oh, you have lots of money. Well, woe was you. So like, if you're making a movie where people are struggling, they don't care, like they just don't. And so I just don't think that ever works, but it could be the reason that gets the kids to Australia.
I mean, I guess that's true.
I just think that I think it's right. If this was a story in the 90s, it was something that actually could happen. But imagine if people found, like you were all saying, like, imagine if you heard about this being a real story today. It would shock you. It'd be like, oh my God.
Your first thing would be like, oh, God damn it, they're going to fuck it up, right? Yeah. Damn it, why can't they let it be? Yeah, I get it. I know what you mean.
But like at the same time too, like this would be a really fascinating real life story if these kids actually had to survive the summer because their babysitter died. Like that would be an amazing.
Oh, wait. Could you modernize this? Like, could you take this and like not a sequel
reboot?
Take this and make it in the modern day with technology the way it is? Would it work?
I don't know that you could, because I mean, with cell phones and the internet, it's just like whenever, like in the movie, would call, like they could rush her off the phone and that's it. You know what I mean? Like
nanny
and like
cams
think about like
nanny cams, doorbell cams,
right? Like they even
doorbell
dumping,
cams, yeah.
Even them ditching like Mrs. Sturak in the box, like there would have been security cameras and stuff like that. Like
one of the kids nowadays would have been dumb enough to like
record it,
like Snapchat it or
well, that's especially
by the dead body.
Especially when you consider like how 1991 all the kids were in the original. These kids today would have to be all 2022, and like I don't know what kids are today other than like into their cell phones, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
And not like we're that much better, we're on them all day too, but like they're really in that world. They're so much more immersed in it. They grew up in it. They were born into it. We merely adopted the dark, but
I was born.
Yeah, they were born in it.
Did you just bane? Don't tell mom the baby.
Kids today are like they're like little technology banes, right? So like I don't know how you do that and make it interesting. And it's also so cliche. I feel like every reboot I see, there's like a kid named Podcast who runs a podcast that is called Podcast, and
I don't think
I in no way want this to happen. I was just saying, like, could like the way they remake things like into the modern day, like I don't think they could actually like not saying that anyone even gets away with any in general, because like but I don't think this can even be possible to go forth with, which is to our benefit.
Yeah. I think the only angle that they could take is like focusing on Sue Ellen to be older than she is and working for this company.
Oh, that's a good point. That's
a great part of the movie, but that's not the soul of the movie. Like heart and soul of the movie is the kids together.
Yeah.
If you just did that, it would be like the Superman, just the Clark Kent stuff, or like Karate Kid 3 in the sense of where it's like you remake the first one without the fun parts, like we already saw that thing and now we're going to see it again in a less fun way. So again, it's
Thomas Ian Griffith.
But hey, if you had Thomas Ian Griffith, it's always going to be
it's a party.
It's always a party. It's a Quicksilver party. So there are some pitches. There are some pitches in the chat. Gold's Code has a pitch. Upon Kenny's decision to go to class, he struggles. That's it. Kenny's attempt to go clean, serious, and studious would make a great film. Again, the same thing of like we kind of did already see that in the first film. We saw him clean up his act. So like to push him backwards, and we don't, obviously have a time machine to go back to 1992 to make it. But like, I mean, yes, I would have watched a spin-off with every character. Like I would have watched the Metallica Breath spin-off. I would have watched the Gus spin-off, even though I fucking despise Gus.
Can I just say something about Gus?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not about Gus. It's about why Rose is an amazing character as a mentor and as like a maternal kind of figure, because when Gus is Gus hits on Sue Ellen through the whole movie, right? But when they're at the party at Sue Ellen's house and Gus tries to come on with her and Sue Ellen squirts him in the junk water gun, and Rose comes in and she's like what's going on? She automatically believes Sue Ellen.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, but Gus is my boyfriend, like he wouldn't do that. She automatically unequivocally just believed her,
and that's not normal for especially for movies back. It was always kind of like causing tension into female characters for no good reason.
And the other thing that's cool about that is the immediate pivot after that is like, oh, we have a presentation to do. Let's kick ass.
I'm not even bothering with your ass right now. Yep.
Yeah, you are so inconsequential now. Like I already forgot about you. Let's go kick ass.
It's brilliant.
And I feel like any other movie would have written Rose running away crying.
Yes.
And like, Sue Ellen, you have to do this for me and save it. And then it would have been, oh, I forgive you because you saved the day with the presentation.
Yes, that's exactly what they would have done.
That's exactly, you're right. And that would have been the 1987 version. But this is like the 91 version, which is, 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back at the same time, like anything else. But other pitches in the chat. Again, another one from Gold's Code. Clown Dog faces opposition from all those gluten-free, all-natural restaurants. Brian turns to Sue Ellen for help, who brings in Kenny and the family.
Damn it!
But with Clown Dog.
Damn it! That's
a very different movie, but I love that as a spinoff.
That is good because Kenny's a chef. Kenny grows up to be a chef.
Oh, that's good. Actually, dang it.
That's
the
great.
Ultimate challenge. Can you make Clown Dog work? There
Walter
could be
can run social media.
I think they hit it the right chord, because I think we were trying to do something that involves somebody dying and a baby, when it should just have been the family coming back together and kind of being a different movie.
Right.
The same characters, different
Working
movie.
together.
It could be really, really good though if like the mom has died and they kind of are like they clearly don't give a shit. Like they mentioned died somehow, but like they don't. It doesn't pull at the heartstrings for them. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh man, that would be they write it like something so trivialized after like that was sad the year their mom died, but like, hey, remember that summer we also got your fastball really good,
right?
You pitched a no-hitter against like the Crosstown Warriors or whatever.
I like that.
Good. I like that. Also on the chat, some defense of the mom. Hey, listen, this mom worked hard to put food on the table. I will not sit here and let you besmirch her goodness.
But she didn't put any food on the table. She left without food in the house.
No, she left with a babysitter with money. Damn it.
No,
the babysitter was a stranger.
The babysitter was a stranger. And also, how do you have zero food in the house before you even leave? Like, you're not feeding your kid.
It was the 90s. None of us had food.
Garbage.
The babysitter was a con artist.
She was a con artist.
She totally was. She put on this nice face that like, I've been taking care of boys and girls for years. As soon as those kids, as soon as the mom's out of there, like, line up. You know, I'm not taking your crap.
Right, you little maggots.
You know.
Oh god, they do that Hitchcock shot.
Yep.
Oh, I love. Oh yeah, with the Twilight Zone music, so good.
Yeah.
And when you see her like stomp Sue-Ellen's cigarette out with her cane
and almost hit Elvis, which I don't appreciate.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But anyway.
Oh, Elvis. I always forget about Elvis. One of the great movie dogs. You know what though? I honestly feel like if you take a little bit of each of these pitches and you have enough of its own movie in it, that you have enough parts there, at least to, I think, create the skeleton of a good movie.
You can Frankenstein this.
I think you throw in some laughs at like some generational differences. Yeah.
This is a great first draft, but this is a movie that gets discovered in draft 7. You know, like that's there'll be something there. Draft 7.
You give everyone of the legacy cast members a little bit of a Johnny Lawrence sort of stuck in the past angle, like different types of it, you know, and their kids, you know, reconnect them and they reconnect their kids, and there's a middle ground in there without being too cheap or by the dozen about it, which I know is already being remade again.
Really?
If Disney owned this thing, there would have been 15 reboots of this. And they would have all been direct to cable.
But each character would have their own spin-off web series, you know, or what, you know.
That they would.
Their own clothing lines, perfume deals.
Oh my god, I would not be mad at a Don't Tell Mom board game though. Somehow I feel like that could be fun. The game of life, that kind of thing. Like, do you get the job at GW or do you work at Clown Dog? Like, do you?
That would be cool.
I have too much to do that I don't have time to make this. But guess what? Everything else is off the table because I want that to happen.
You're gonna make life. Don't tell mom the babysitter.
Don't put these ideas in my head.
I just inceptioned you. I love how I did that. I was like, man, it would be really cool if someone, wink, wink, made a Don't Tell Mom board game. I wonder who would be creative and cool enough to do that.
So fun. Are you kidding? That'd be so fun.
That would absolutely rule. I would pay top dollar for that. I would sell
the front desk at GAW is, I know this is life and not Monopoly, but like front desk at GAW with Carolyn would be jail. You know? Like if you like go to jail, you're just like stuck with her.
For like stuck with Carolyn,
or something. Yeah.
I'm just picturing like the little figurines of the characters and Carolyn in her light blue dress and her straight across bob haircut. I love it. And I see her sitting at the desk. When you mentioned the desk, I could see her sitting at the desk.
Yep. So like then we don't need to remake the movie, we just make the game. I think.
Yeah, we just figured it out right there. It's not a Netflix series, it's not a new movie, it's a board game and it will change your life.
By Milton.
It's like those 90s what were those like phone or like mall games?
Mall Madness. Dream Phone Mall Madness.
Yeah.
Dream Day.
You guys are absolute heroes. So I think we have all the pieces in place, enough good ideas to conjure up some degree of a Frankenstein Don't Tell Mom sequel. At least the spirit of the film is alive and forever strong. But before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys have coming up at the Art Mart or Taped Off TV podcast or Night Owl Designs, or anything you want to let the people know about, even just where to follow you guys on social media maybe?
So you can find us at South Street Art Mart on Instagram. Our website is southstreetartmart.com, and we have over 150 artists, and everything is itemized on our website. You can shop online or in the store at 4th and South. In Philly. And we are worldwide, that's a couple months away, but in April is Rex Manning Day, and we have stuff already in the works for Rex Manning at the Art Mart.
It's our favorite holiday.
Nobody can be angry on Rex Manning Day.
Can't be. You mustn't doll. Not today.
We've got some good stuff.
We have such good stuff this year. It's like we make different stuff every year for it, and we like celebrate, and it's a whole thing. But
seriously, yeah, their store has the coolest stuff. We're talking like VHS stencil art, every kind of like stickers, t-shirts, hats, swag, just like every, spray painted intercoms. I have a thank you Katrina sign that I got from
that's right.
You guys before you even had the store, I think. But it's just the kind of amazing stuff. If you're pop culture fans, like you guys seriously get on this site, get on the store, and if you're anywhere near Philly, stop on in and say hi, because these are two of the greatest people you could ever meet. Bobby, do you have some good news for me? Are you closer to launching the Still Fabulous podcast?
I know, I'm sitting on a golden goose egg with this one.
You are, my friend. You better get on it, because I'm going to keep calling you out for it as long as you keep coming on the show.
I need to be called out, but in the meantime, you can follow me right there at that handle at Bob Faggot. I'm hilarious. Come find me.
I don't argue. I can't dispute any of that. Ian, anything going on in your corner of the world? Was there some Dairy Public Radio links or Fandom Spotlight reviews?
No. I posted a video the other day of just there's a great episode of friend of the video cast, Dairy Public Radio. They had a great episode, very powerful message this week, reviewing the book Dolores Claiborne. So I highly recommend checking that out. The stuff they talk about on that show is very brave and just wonderful. But I'll have another bad movie challenge review coming out here soon. But last week, I think the last one was Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, give that, talking about a little Cajun, deep fried gizzards in that one. So, and nothing is better than Jean-Claude Van Damme with a wet mullet. All right, there's just nothing better.
When you thought mullet Van Damme was the peak, you realize, oh no, it's wet mullet Van Damme. I think the Nicole's have a shrine to wet mullet Van Damme in the South Street Art Mart. Is that still up? And
oh no, that was sold.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sold.
As it should have been. Yes.
I hope that's sold for like $1 bajillion.
So our friend Sarah Casey, I think.
Oh yeah, I know Sarah. Yeah, I worked on a movie.
Sarah made these like little shrine things with like photo frames in them,
and they're like altars.
Yeah, like altars.
Oh yeah. I bought one of her Predator ones. The proceeds went to something, I can't remember what it was, but it was a cause that I was really moved by at the time. I already fucking forgot what it was, but
we have her Christina Applegate one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've been trying to get Sarah and Tony Goggles to come on the show for a long time. Now I'm calling them out on the air. They were actually gonna come on like a week or two ago, but then it was overbooked. So they're the best.
It's your fault.
To have them completely. On soon. Yeah, it's totally my fault. Yeah, 100,000,000,000% my fault. But at any rate, so you Fandom fans might want to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we hit the streets of Champion City for our Mystery Men episode. And as always, if there's a particular, oh yes, I'm glad someone's stoked. And as always, if there's a particular movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode, let us know in the comment section on YouTube. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow South Street Art Mart, Night Owl Designs, Taped Off TV, Fandom Spotlight, the Howlin' Eye Network, and Pop Culture Punk. And keep your eyes and ears on the lookout for the Still Fabulous podcast. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those laser discs, and we'll see you at the movies.